Good day, everybody. Peace, love, and harmony to you all. I am Peacekeeper, and I'm out here in the heart of nature. Yeah, to raise the frequency. Feels so good to be alive, baby. Feels so good to be here, yeah. Right now, whoa, whoa. Right now, in this present moment. Here to share with you guys yet another powerful, inspirational, motivational, high vibrational message today. Today's message, I'll be diving deep into how to deal with angry people. If today's message interests you in any way, form, or fashion, stay tuned until the end of this message. So, what influenced this message today was an angry guy who took a trip to the waterfall to load up someone. And I don't know what triggered him. I don't know what caused it. But how to deal with angry people. And that's the topic. So, this message also, all of my messages, none of them are scripted, by the way. All of these messages are off the top of the dome. So, mind you be, if I make mistakes in my messages, okay, because I'm not here for perfection. I'm just here to share and speak my truth. Now let's dive straight into it. So, how to deal with angry people. So, tip number one, do not absorb their energy. See, anger is like a bacteria, a germ. If not controlled, it can spiral out of control. Hence, one angry person can enter a crowd, and that one angry person can obscure the whole frequency of that crowd. And before you know it, everyone else in the crowd is angry too. Why? Because they chose to absorb the angry person's energy. Now I know it's difficult not to absorb an angry person's energy. It is difficult. Especially, let's say, if it's someone that you're living with, or a workplace that you are in, or a relationship that you're in. It's very difficult to not absorb their energy. But this is where you need to pay attention to the way you're feeling when the angry person is expressing themselves. If you're not paying attention to your emotional body, to your own emotions, you can easily absorb their energy. So how to not absorb their energy? Well, breathe. Breathe. Like, just take deep breaths, or just focus on your breaths while they're speaking, while they're doing whatever they're doing. You just shift your focus to your breathing. They don't have to know that you're not taking them on. No. And if they think that's disrespect, if you are a kid out there and they have an issue with your silence, simply say, whether it be a parent, I have nothing to say. That's it. And there's nothing else you can say. Because when someone is angry, they are not really receptive. They are not open to communication. They are not open to understanding. No. They only care about their ego's desires. This is why that anger comes across very forcefully, very aggressively, and very attacking like. So this is where you would have to understand that this being is not in their senses. This being is now controlled by rage. And the only how they can come out of that is if they choose to. It's not on you to help them or try to make them calm down. Reason why I'm saying this is because you can be simply just saying to them, you don't need to get on like that. You don't need to talk to me so loud or shout to me. And they could take that as a problem. Because when someone is angry, they make everything a problem. They make every little detail a problem. Anything that they could think of to aggravate themselves more and try to annoy you, they'll do that. Because they are annoyed within themselves, so they will now try to annoy you. Another thing you can do if that's the case, where they're trying to annoy you and trying to get under your skin, create distance. Yet again, if you are a kid receiving this message and you cannot create distance, focus on your breath. Stay at peace within yourself. Because fighting fire with fire is not going to end up well. Doesn't make sense. So, if you do want to have a conversation with them thereafter, wait for them to calm down. Wait for when you know that they are not in that aggressive mood, they are not overstimulated by anger, and then try to initiate a conversation if you feel like it's the right thing to do within yourself. If you feel like, okay, maybe I want to have this conversation with them so that the relationship would not be that of butting heads, so that if it's a parent, you guys can have a better relationship in general, and the conversation now can be a lot clearer, with more clarity, because they are no longer angry. But that is if it's someone that you really care about and you want to have an ongoing relationship. with them, right? But if even when they're calm and they are still not receptive, still not open to having that conversation with you, then I say to you, you don't have to try to patch anything up, because people make time for who they care about. People stay and make choices based on if they see you in their future or not. And this is why I say to you, don't force an angry person to stay in your life. Don't fight with an angry person, because you will be wasting your energy. And energy is priceless. Energy cannot be when it's used, you can't get it back. You can get new energy, but when you use your energy on a pointless argument, then it's too precious to waste. So I say to you, don't waste that energy. Don't waste your primordial life source energy, your chi. Because, you see, angry people just need to vent, That's it. You can see them in a light of they just need some kindness and compassion. But you don't necessarily need to be the one to give that to them. Because then you'll be taking on their energy and absorbing their energy. You don't need that. You see, a lot of people out there, or angry people, talking about big people too, they expect kids to be emotionally balanced. I'm talking about 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, and they speak to them loudly. I'm even talking about teenagers at times, 16-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 13-year-olds. And parents out there, I'm talking about people in the 50s, people in the 40s, 30s, doesn't matter the age bracket, just parents in general. They don't even have control over their own emotional state, because quite frankly they blame everything in the external realm for their emotional state. So when it is they continuously keep blaming everyone else in the external realm for their emotional state and the way they feel, they lack accountability within themselves. So this is why angry people will come and blame you for their anger. And this is why within yourself, you need to really and truly grasp the fact that once you know that you did nothing wrong, ignore them. Because they have people that they have whatever stuff that they're dealing with in their daily life. which adds a little stress, which drains their energy. And sometimes they are looking for some kind of getaway to relieve that stress. And sometimes they don't know how to in a healthy way. And this is why, for a lot of people, they would run to alcohol, or they may run to their device and try to distract themselves. And then there are some that just explode. And I'll say this, even those who explode, that's a good sign, because they're releasing, and it's helping them to learn how to regulate their emotions. So hence, this is why when dealing with kids, or when observing adults, kids, understand that they're just now learning how to regulate their emotions. Because some of these parents think that they can't learn anything from their kids, whereas you may have more control over your emotional state than they do. Hence why you can stay silent even while they are blowing up, even when they are spiraling out of control, even when they are in that state of force. You are still in control of your emotional state. They're not in control of theirs. So, who is the real adult? You see, some people are just big in size or big in age, but not big. they are not matured. Whereas we have souls, quote unquote kids, who have done a lot of inner work in past lives, and you have come back to this realm with that information from your past life. A lot of adults may not be ready to accept that, because a lot of adults out there don't want to give up control. They like control. They really do. Angry people just want to control. And this is why they get angry and aggressive, to try and inflict fear, to try and instill fear. And this, my friend, is what they do to try and lower your vibrational frequency. So I say to you, don't give in to that fear that they are trying to inflict. Don't give in to their emotional imbalance, but focus on you. Focus on you. And create the outcome that you wish to create by changing your view and doing what it is you can do to control what you can control from within you. Now, this is not something that is easy to do, but when done effectively, your calmness can either trigger them more, to the point where, because you're not answering them, they're getting more angry, or they can hear themselves talk. They can hear themselves and maybe spark something within themselves to realize how petty or pointless it is. if your parents are matured, if your parents are self-reflective. But most parents out there don't do that. Most angry people out there don't do that. It's like I said, they blame. Easy and perfect indication that they're not self-reflecting. So, with this being said, focus on you. Stay calm within yourself. If it is that you need to say something, be mindful of the words that come out of your mouth, because it can either escalate the situation more, and you don't want that. So if you are using words, use words of calming energy. Use words that can get them to calm down if necessary. And if they're not hearing, back to silence. It's tough to deal with angry people, guys, but we live in a world where there's a lot of it, so we need to understand that sometimes we may have to deal with that. Yeah. Moving forward though, if you can leave the space or leave the environment, leave. If you can't leave, hey, I just gave you some tips there on what you can do. You try to speak words of upliftment, of kindness, to see if it may spark them. But remember, it's like I said, they're not hearing when they're in that state. So it's not the best time when they're angry. But you can try if you see a window. If you see a gap where you realize, okay, they're putting aside their ego a little bit, alright, maybe you could try. But very rare that takes place. So just remember, continue, let's take deep breaths, focus on your breathing. They don't need to know that you're taking deep breaths, by the way. You can breathe very softly, like this. See, you don't even know that I'm focused on my breathing, right? Yeah, so you can do that. That helps you to stay focused in the present moment. That helps you to ignore also them and not absorb their energy. And it helps you to regulate your emotions without absorbing their energy and without disturbing your peace. So, hope you guys enjoy this message. Hope this message brought forth some type of clarity to you guys today. Hope this message helped you through whatever you may be dealing with today. I am Peacekeeper, guys, and I'm out. Until tomorrow.